What's up, you guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the job creation wizard. Okay, create a job. So, where you find this is in the My Jobs tab. You got all your jobs. You just hit Create Job. Once you click on Create Job, it will let you either drag and drop documents in here. And why don't I just do that? Actually, it's actually a really good idea. Downloads. Okay, so I downloaded some documents here. So I can just take all of these and then I can just drag them in and drop them. Now what happens is those ones they start analyzing. Once this button becomes orange, you're ready to move forward. Okay. So we don't have to wait for this because we have one more screen here. We have the client payment. And so once it's extracted information from the document, it's actually already filling out these other tabs for us. And so we're going to go ahead and create our client. I actually have created some in here already that I like to use. You put in your payment. In this case, I think it was $209. The reference number can be anything. It's basically whatever the client wants as a reference number. You hit continue. Okay, so this is the power. The reason why I wanted to use this one as an example is because it goes, the extraction tool is just awesome. It will completely crawl the document and fill everything out for you. I've tested this and there's a lot here. There's a lot here. So I'm going to go through it step by step here so you can understand fully the power of Mighty Automation AI that we have built on the back end of this Mighty Process Server tool. And when I say that there's not going to be any tool like it or comparatively, it's because of how much effort and things we put into this. So, all right, let me go ahead and go full screen here. Okay, so if you see this drop down right here, you can click it to quickly move to a different document. If you want to look at a different document, let me go ahead and look at this one real quick. This is like an insert. It's basically an attachment. So whichever one you're looking at gets highlighted. Okay. And you might scroll and be like, why can't I scroll? Because we're more efficient than that. All of the top law firm tools have a side-to-side click. So we decided to adopt that. So instead of going scrolling, you just side to side. So I'm going to make the decision to actually remove this from the proof of service to be listed on the proof of service. Unless I want to use this, but this is a blank copy. Yeah, this is blank stuff. These are attachments. So attachments sometimes are nice, but I think what I'll do is I'm actually going to, because these are all attachments, I'm actually just going to get rid of this and I'm just going to put attachment here just so it has a placeholder. And then I'm gonna leave that alone for a second. I'm gonna go look at the other document here. Let me see. The first one was the small claims. Okay, that's the second one. Third one. So the third one is here. So I can review it again. It's another attachment. Just a one pager. But I could leave it if I wanted to leave that title. If this is something that was required, notice of remote appearance. And then the last one. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So that's all of them. So again, that's another one. Looks like a similar one. Maybe I uploaded it twice. That looks like a different one. So, but you can see how you can see it, right? Now, the AI did a really good job of extracting information, but I'm going to show you a couple things just so you know how it works. If for some reason the AI did not pull, let's go back to our primary document. If the AI did not pull some of this information, I could tell it to right here. And so what I did was I was going through the documents to see which of the titles I wanted to keep. I think I want to keep ODR. But remember, whatever shows up, whatever this says is what's going to show up on the proof of service. These little inserts, not what the file name is, but these inserts. So this is obviously always required. I'll probably just remove that. I don't want that to show up on the proof. Notice of remote appearance. That's a pretty long thing there. I could fix that if I wanted to. But I'm going to leave those two, and then I have the plaintiff's claim. Now, if I wanted to reorder these, because this is going to be in order, it's going to say plaintiff's claim in order to go to small claims court, comma, and then it's going to say this one, and then comma, and then it's going to say this one. So it's up to you if you want to remove some of these, what you want to show up on the proof, or maybe you want to reorder them. You can just drag them and move them around, right? So let's actually put the one that doesn't even have a name, just the insert at the bottom. There you go. So that's that. Now you can see it automatically extracted the information, the data. It was filed on the 4th. Plaintiff, you still want to go through and like double check everything, but let's just see. Defendant. Yep, that looks right. So you just kind of like double check it, right? Court date, that came from the notice of hearing. No, that's a file date. So it got the court date wrong. What's the court date? Okay, so this is a great example of how you can teach it. So what you do is you click on this little target tool. The target tool will activate. I think I have one document name that's too long. I need to truncate it. That's a bug. So you click the little target tool, and then I can actually come over here and highlight. Basically what you're doing is you're mapping this out, telling the AI, hey, whenever it's a small claims, check this area over here. Like it has some valid information. Okay, let's do that right there, like that. So it'll check this area, and it says, I think you're trying to tell me what the court date is. And I'm saying, yeah, that's true. I am. There it is. Boom, confirmed. Now, what we did was that just created a line item inside of the admin dashboard where I review them. And basically, it teaches, it's called a RAG system. It teaches the AI where to look based on the state and the document title and the document name. It'll search for specific keywords, and it'll look in this area in the future now that I've mapped it for small claims. So you can see it automatically put it in once I identified it. I'm still playing with the recommended courthouses. I feel like this should be a little bit more accurate. I mean, the address is right here. It pulled the proper address. So I'm going to keep playing with this. But basically, this is a case lookup, court lookup, not case lookup, court lookup. Case lookup is coming soon. Direct connect to the court, especially California. But you can go... if you say use this courthouse, it'll automatically fill it out. But obviously, this is incorrect, Lancaster, California. But you can hit search courthouses, and you can say, there you go, Stanley Moss Courthouse. Let's see what it does. Okay, yeah, that's correct, actually. It was giving me a lot more information under courthouse address. It was giving me names and stuff. So when I searched for it and I selected it, it automatically filled it out appropriately to what's here, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to hit continue. All right, so survey is a little bit ambiguous. You always have to double check this, okay? Because we don't know, because we didn't upload a field sheet. We didn't upload anything regarding a field sheet. But we do have some keywords. And so just so you know what it is, I've trained the AI to look for defendant or person to serve or entity being sued, stuff like that. So it's kind of smart. It kind of knows, but you still have to double check. Also, there's a different name formatting. If you don't like the last name first, I actually prefer the last name first. But if you don't like the last name first, like a lot of court documents, so you'll have to change it, if depending on how it's listed on the summons, you're always having to copy and paste it at the end. You can change that in your organization settings. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of things you can change in organization settings, which we'll get to in a different video. So the service address, this is pretty important. Okay, this is where you're sending a process server to go serve something. If for some reason this didn't show up here and I wanted it to show up, I could actually highlight this and the AI will try to filter it. But let me show you a different tool. Let me get out of there. If I highlight this, see, it also tries to, just highlighting it is also trying to find out what the information is supposed to be. So service address, that's what this would be. It would fill it out. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess this up. But, and then we have a photograph. Okay. And so we got a photograph. Let's see. This is the lady. The lady being sued. Lovely lady. Use some kind of description. Okay, you got priority, urgent, standard. So this is important for you, but when you hire a server in the system, they have their rates set. So you want to be careful when you're doing this. If they have their rates set and you are inviting them to bid, sometimes their rates are set at different rates, the higher rates based on the urgency. So if you want the best rate when you send out bid invitations, you're going to want to put standard. But if this is a rush and it actually has a court date that's coming up pretty soon, maybe you put it on priority. So standard is like routine, priority is rush, urgent is same day, and on demand is same day. Like you need to go attempt it today and every day. These are essentially the same, except on demand means you are definitely going to serve it today or you're going to attempt it today. And then in your organization settings, you can actually create these saved instructions. So this one's small claims. So I'm plugging in small claims. All right. Due date. This could be automated. There is some argument for making this automated. However, you it's your responsibility to make sure your due dates are set properly. Like if based on a hearing date is what small claims is based on. So there's plenty of this is long past, right? So but if I if today was the first New Year's Day, I'd have to get this served pretty fast. I mean, because in order for them, you have to do it 15 days before the hearing if you want to. 15 days before the hearing on small claims, and understanding the rules in your state are super important for setting your rates and setting your priority rates and setting your due dates. So I'm just going to say my due date is here. I continue. The due date is important, but so recommended proof of service forms. So based on the information, it's pulling from some keywords. So it's saying you're in California. There's a chance that one of these are correct. So what's so cool about this, and we're still dialing this in, but you can say I already know I need a SC 104, right? So I'm just going to say attach because that's the one that I need. I need a SE 104, but I am going to have some additional documents listed out on there. So I'm going to go ahead and say SE 104. I'm going to hit attach. And now that is going to live with the document. And when we have successful services completed by the server, it'll automatically have this filled out for me. I'll probably have to go and add some. I already know I'm probably going to want to double check the document names, but you want to be sure about that because there's so many documents. Okay, and then once you have that, look at it filled out 15 out of 16 fields. I wonder what the missing one was. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna hit assign. So now that's it. It's done. You could save it as a draft. But real quick, we're gonna hit the next step, kind of finalizing things. We're gonna assign a server. So for assign to me, you can just leave it. It's already kind of assigned to you, and you can go ahead and hit create job. But what I recommend doing is marking it as pending so that it gets added to your dispatch screen. Because once it's on your dispatch screen, you have a bunch of tools for inviting servers. But maybe you already know who you want to send it to right now. You can say, you know what, let me go ahead and send it to Joseph, send it to somebody. And so you can just hit invite here and it'll send them an email requesting that they bid on it. And essentially they'll tell you how much they'll charge to do the job. They don't get all the details. All they get is the street name and the city. So they know pretty close to where it's at. Okay, they know what type of document it is. They see your service instructions, and that's it. If you have a server that's not on the platform, not interested to be on the platform, whatever, you can still invite them. You can invite them right here, and it will. You can click invite to collaborate, and essentially what it does is you don't have to pay them up front. If you don't hit invite to collaborate, and they send you they bid on your job, it's going to automatically take from your Stripe Express account, is what it's called, Stripe Express. It'll automatically take that amount from your account and put it in a hold until the job is served, and then it gets released to the server. So that's how that works. So you can hit invite to collaborate, but let's just go ahead and post it to the bid board because that's fun. See, let people bid on it. But you can do all kinds of options. You can post to the bid board, you can mark it as pending, and you can go ahead and let's just search for somebody. Let's search for Natasha. Let's search for Natasha. I'm going to send it to her. Boom, she's invited. So now I'm going to hit create job. And boom, it's a new job. So I'm glad it doesn't show her face, actually. That's pretty cool. All right, so you have the pending card. So we sent one invitation. This is where you review your invitations. So we sent one invitation. We can assign ourselves if we want to. If we're just like, you know what, I'm just going to go serve it myself. Or maybe you just want to assign it to yourself because you can change the name of the server on the proof of service when you're done. But you probably don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that, actually, because it'll cause more grief than anything else. So your saved servers, I talk about that in another video, but just so you can see, like if there's a server that I regularly send stuff to, I can just click on my saved servers and go, let me just assign it to him or her or whatever. And if you invited them to collaborate, they're just going to get the invitation with all the details, which is easy. It's supposed to be easy. And then maybe there's a certain server that you know is nearby. You can set that up too. If you ever see this, there's a good chance that when you map the documents with the AI, mapped out the stuff, that it put this in. So you want to just take this out. So just get rid of that and hit save address, and then it'll automatically geocode it properly. There you go. See, once the yellow went away and it's geocoded properly, that means that the AI and the maps geolocation tool, it knows where it's at now. So if I hit search directory, it will tell me people who are nearby, or at least the closest people. Okay. It says this person's Carrington's only 2 miles away. That's crazy. It's 15 miles away. So yeah, that's the idea, is it's going to show you the people who are closest by. And you can invite them. Okay. And then you can also review your bids and stuff. So let's go look at the bid board, and that'll be it for this video, because this is how you create a job, right? So you got a couple jobs on the bid board here. You can actually hit apply bid. This is my own job, so it's kind of silly, but you can hit apply. You can do a bid request. I think I still have it where I could bid on my own job. Let me see. I will bid on this. It's called counter bid, but it's still a bid because you don't have, because it's on the bid board, there's no estimated pay. You set the pay. You're the process server. You're the professional. You get to set your pay. So you hit counter bid, and it says, hey, just so you know, you're bidding on this job. If you take this job, there is consequences for not making the attempts. Like you might be removed from the platform. There's a lot of things that could happen. So you can review the terms of service. But if you're like, yeah, I definitely want to bid on this, I could do this for 111. Because once you send this, if the client, sometimes it's not another member, sometimes it's an actual client. So if the client likes your price, they're just going to hit accept, and you got the job. Okay, so you hit got it. Okay, so now you've counterbid. So now let me go back to my jobs, and let's see. If I go back to my jobs, let me refresh. Okay, I click on here. So now I can see I have a bid. So Michael Reed bid on my job on the bid board. I can hit accept, and it'll automatically go into his account. I'm not going to hit accept because I want to see if Natasha replies or if anybody else bids on it, and then give it to them. Because once it's inside of my jobs account, they can start making attempts, and we can test it out fully. So right now we're in test mode, but it's working really well. You can like come in here and view anything. This whole side panel is pretty intuitive. Like you can pretty much do whatever you want just by looking at it. Sometimes it'll turn certain things off, like you won't be able to edit some things once it's assigned. So once somebody gets assigned the job, you're not able to edit the address. You're not able to if they're making their attempts on time, it's their job until they've completed it. It's kind of an interesting concept, but it's required because there's a lot of compliance and things like that that we're trying to fit into the groove on. So, all right, watch the other video. I'm making another video all about how to create an affidavit. And this little bell notification here, this is your place to go to see everything that's going on in your account. If you're like, man, this is a lot of stuff, Mike, I get it. Trust me, I've been working on it and pouring my whole heart into this. But if you click here, counter offer submitted, it takes you directly to that particular job, which I was already in here. But let me go back. Yeah, so it takes me to this job, opens up the window, shows me the bid right away. So yeah, this little bell place right here, this is where you're going to want to go for everything. And see servers en route. It'll take me to that particular job. There was a server en route. We were testing the en route feature. Watch the video on the en route feature. This is going to give you your bonus points that you need so that you can increase your star ranking on the platform. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. Take care. Be safe. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.